Welcome to Monday's math lesson with Mrs. Francis. Again, we will be looking at converting fractions to decimals. That's why it says fractions to decimals part 2, because you should have completed part 1 on last Monday. This assignment is available to you in Math Google Classroom. Please, when you have finished your slides, be sure to hit turn in. I know quite a few of you did that last week and I didn't even ask you, so thank you. But this week I'm asking please hit turn in. That lets me know that you're complete without me having to go in to each of your slides. I will be giving you a score on this, so be sure you're taking your time and doing your best work. So just a quick recap of fractions to decimals. When we are converting a fraction to a decimal, we are looking at the denominator to determine where we need to place that fraction with regards to our decimal place value chart, okay? So when you open the slides, your first thing you're gonna do is type your name here in the name box. So you're gonna put your name here, okay? So I know the slides belong to you. Then on slide 2, this slide we're gonna practice and go through together. I've put a template for you to use to hopefully help you identify where each of the places is. So you're gonna see that to the left of the decimals, we have the tens and we have the ones. So those are numbers that we typically see and that we typically use, and we've been using numbers like that all year long. And then when we move to the right of the decimal place, or the decimal point, we see that we have our tenths and we have our hundredths, okay? So for example, 9/10 would be written as 0, our decimal point, and then the 9. So we don't have any 1s, so we're going to put a 0 there, okay? Then 63 hundredths, same thing. I don't have any 1s, and then I'm going to write that as decimal 63. And when I go to read these, I'm going to read them using this terminology. So this would be read as 9/10, and this would be read as 63 hundredths, okay? In last week's video, I told you how you needed to use that last column to identify what the value was, okay? So since this number ends in the hundredths, I'm going to read this as 63 hundredths. Since this number ends in the tenths, I'm going to read this as 9/10. And I'm telling you that because you're not always going to have this place value chart. You're not always going to have these fractions to help you with that, okay? So for our practice problems, we're just going to type in this text box, okay, and I'm just going to put an equal sign. And then I'm going to use this kind of as my cheat sheet, and I'm going to fill this in. So if I have 65 hundredths, I don't have any 1s, so I'm going to put a 0. And then I know everything is going to be to the right of the decimal point. Okay, and I want it in the hundredths column. So this is going to be 0.65 or 65 hundredths. Okay, 5/10, same thing. I have no 1s, so I'm going to do 0. I know that every number I have is going to be to the right of the decimal place. And I'm going to put that in the tenths column. So it would be 0.5. Okay, this next one's a little bit trickier because it's 6 hundredths. Okay, don't get yourself mixed up. Again, I don't have any 1s, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 0. And then when I look up here at my place value chart, I know my 6 has got to be in that hundredths column, so I've got to put a 0 in the tenths. So it's going to be 0 decimal 0 6, and I would read that as 6 hundredths. Okay, 34 hundredths, same thing. I want that 4 to end in that hundredths column. I have no 1s. It's going to be 34 hundredths. This last one is a little trickier. This is a whole number. I'm going to read this as 6 and 3/10. Remember last week again, I said that decimal point is read as and, okay? So I have 1s, so I have 6 1s and 3/10. I need that 3 to end in the tenths column, okay? So you should do these right along with me here on the video. Please look back at this chart to help you identify where each of these answers needs to be. On this final slide, this is going to be where you're going to be completing your independent work. And I've given you the graphic again. So it says using the graphic to help you answer the questions. You're going to convert each decimal to a fraction. So here's the graphic. And then you're actually going to type your answers over here on this line. I've done the first one for you. So your example is 1/100th. So it would be written as 0.01. You're going to type right over here. The lines will move as you type. Okay. Number 1. I'm going to have to add one for you because it looks like this one should be the example, and then you actually have 5 that you're going to complete on your own. So I will go back and I will fix that on your assignment, but just know the first one is the example. This goes here, and then you're actually going to do 5 of them on your own, okay? You may watch this video along with the slides, or watch the video and then complete the slides at the same time. Okay? Work hard. If you have any questions, let me know.